Hey everyone, Pete Werner here, along with Steve Porter.
Hello.
And we got into a discussion about the worst what we thought the worst attractions were at Walt Disney World, and we came up with the idea that we would each list our what we thought were the 5 worst attractions, and not tell each other
what they were.
They were. So we're going to have this little mini discussion here, and go through our list and see, if we agree with each other, if what showed up on my list versus his. So I'll start with my number 5, and this is from least worst to worst worst. So number 5 is the least worst attraction on my list, but that is goes to Journey into Imagination at Epcot. I've made no secret of my hatred of this attraction. I used to love this attraction until they changed it.
Yeah. But
ever since they changed it, I felt that they just...
Yeah, it sucked the imagination out. Not much left. It wasn't my number 5. But yeah, not a great attraction.
Don't be looking at my list.
No, I didn't see anything. Yeah, not a great attraction. I think it just has a lot of potential because what we know it was.
Right. Well, that's why it's number 5 on my list.
Yeah.
That, it could easily come off this list if they did something to it. Yeah.
Yep. My number 5, I have The Circle of Life, an environmental fable. I have it. It's the movie that's shown in the Land Pavilion. It's Lion King themed show, and I love educational things in Epcot. I think Epcot needs more educational things. I think, but the problem is that you shouldn't know it's educational. It should be educational but fun to the point that you don't even realize you're learning something. Kind of like Living with the Land is very educational, but it's just a fun boat ride that you're not even thinking about the fact that it doesn't feel like you're in a classroom.
Yeah, I think Living with the Land is done well.
Yeah, it's done so well.
I enjoy Living with the Land.
Where it almost feels like this is a video that's shown to 8th graders to teach them about the environment, which there's just so much more that could be done. So that's my number 5.
All right, moving on to number 4. My number 4 may upset some people.
Okay.
But I stand by this. The Great Movie Ride.
Ooh.
At Hollywood Studios. I think this is so overdue for a complete overhaul that, very little has changed. I don't know that anything has changed, really, in this attraction since it opened, or at least not since I've been going to Disney World, which I think was early 90s I started going. And I know they updated the movie at the end. Great. And I know that they are getting ready to make changes to it and do some things to it. And I think, have they made some changes recently?
I don't think in the physical part of the ride that anything has changed.
Yeah. I think that's what's coming, though.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do it until Star Wars Land
and all that stuff is done.
And Toy Story's done. But Great Movie Ride is number 4 on my list of worst attractions at Walt Disney World.
I disagree in the fact that it didn't make my list. I think it's entertaining. I do agree that it needs to be updated, though.
Well, it was entertaining the first 45 times I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
On the 46th time, it started getting old. Now it's like, oh, dear God,
now you're done.
That's where they send people to punish them. That and Journey into Imagination. If you're really bad, your parents are going to make you ride both those rides.
My number 4, I have, this will probably upset Rhino, but Swiss Family Treehouse. I hadn't even thought of that one. It's basically a queue. It's basically a line.
I've never been up there.
Oh,
I have never been up there, so I can't judge that.
Well, it is basically a line for no ride. And I think there is cool things that they could do. Like, once you get up there, you see the treehouse and you see where the Robinson family lived, but it's all behind a cage. I think that there could be a way that they can make it more interactive. I don't know, maybe make one of the card things. I know there's the game that the kids play with the cards. Maybe they put one of those up there. Maybe not enough room, but there has to be something that can draw people so that it's not just like, okay, we're all walking in circles here and walking up and down stairs. It's just...
Yeah, there's a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stairs. That's why I've never been up there, because there are stairs.
That's my number 4.
Unless there's an oxygen tent or a defibrillator at the top, I'm not going. All right, my number 3, Conservation Station at Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out there a few times because, well, I think there's some self-hatred that I make myself go out there. Actually, the reason I've gone out there is just like, it really can't be that bad. And then I go out there, I'm like, oh yeah, it is. It is that bad. And I'm sorry. Conservation Station, and maybe just part of it is, I want to be entertained. Mm-hmm. I want to be entertained. And like you were saying with, the Lion King film at the Land, at the Land, throw some entertainment in there.
Right. Make it entertaining.
There's nothing
educationally entertaining.
This is it's as entertaining as, dental work for me. So, and I realize some people are going to disagree with that, but that's the whole point behind this.
So number 3, I have, again, I agree with everything. Number 3, I have Primeval World. I just think it's a
good one.
A whiplash machine.
One.
Just if you want a headache, if you want an immediate headache, you can get on Primeval World. Headaches are free. That's pretty self-explanatory.
That's one of those off-the-rack rides that Disney bought. Mm-hmm. That's not, there was no
creativity,
no Imagineering required.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was on the box that the ride came in. That's good. That's a good one. I hadn't even thought of that. My number 2 is in Animal Kingdom, but it's not Primeval World. It's Flights of Wonder.
Oh, I had thought of that one too.
Another one where I've gone to see it a couple of times, and it's not that it's not entertaining. I just think the space could be used better. Mm-hmm. Well, no, you know what? I don't think it's entertaining. I really don't.
And it's in a prime spot.
It is that's the thing, is like, every time I'm there, I'm like, okay, this could be used for so much more.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, that would be my number 2.
Prime location with a big letdown. Yeah, I 100% agree with that one. I also didn't make my list, so I'm happy that we have lots of differences in our lists. So number 2, I have Universe of Energy. Hasn't been updated in forever. It's 45 minutes long. It's so boring that I actually wrote an article about how this is a great attraction to take a nap on. And I wasn't joking. This is not like I wasn't doing that part for laughs.
It's dark, it's cold, and there's nothing going on.
There's long benches you could probably lay down because no one's on the ride with you. So that's a good one to take a nap on.
Well, turns out your number 2 is my number 1. The worst attraction at Walt Disney World is Universe of Energy, and it. My criteria is the space well utilized? What's the bang for the buck, so to speak?
Yeah.
And this is, in terms of things that are open, mm-hmm. Because biggest waste of space is at Epcot, but it's Wonders of Life Pavilion. Mm-hmm. But that's not actually open. That's not an attraction.
Right.
But a close second is, because I'm not even sure Universe of Energy is actually open. I think they just let people go through a broken ride. But yeah, that's my number 1. That I think it's the worst. I think it's the worst attraction at Disney.
Yeah, I agree. And it just needs.
Well, no, you put it at number 2. I want to hear what your number 1 is.
Okay, I'm actually really surprised you don't have my number 1 even on your list, because it's not only hated by me, but it's hated by the Disney community. Hates this ride. Stitch's Great Escape.
Oh yeah.
They walk into a room.
How did I miss that?
Stitch burps in your face, and then you walk out. Like he tickles the back of your neck, and then you walk out.
You know how I missed that?
What?
I've never been on it.
Oh, never go. I won't. It's one of those things. Most times I'm someone that says, you even got to experience the bad stuff. No, this is not. This is an exception to the rule. Don't go on. It's not fun. Maybe other people will tell you differently, but I just hate it.
I never went on it. I went on. I did it many times, and it was Alien Encounter. I kind of liked it as Alien Encounter. Yeah. I enjoyed it as Alien Encounter. And then when they switched it over to Stitch, everybody was saying how bad it was, and so I never went on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time, because there was stuff at the Magic Kingdom. I had a hard time. Actually, nothing. I thought I'd hit all the parks on my list. I didn't. I hit 3 of the 4. I couldn't think of anything at Magic Kingdom that I would consider the worst attraction at Disney World. But based on anecdotal of what I've heard from other people, yes, Stitch was, Stitch would be on there, but I haven't actually experienced that. So for that reason, it did not make my list.
Fair. Yeah, it's just I said I wrote in my notes that has no redeemable qualities, and it's true. It's just I think it's also an attraction that suffers from being loved by what it used to be. And like you said, it used to be Alien Encounter, which a lot of people liked. I think it was too scary, and that's why they got rid of it. But there was an audience there. Like, yes, the Magic Kingdom is targeted towards children and families with children, but it doesn't mean that there can't be a ride that aren't for children. Just have proper warnings that say this one's not for children. I don't know. I just think Stitch is let down from that.
Oh, interesting.
It's funny. We had totally different lists.
We did.
Yeah.
That is funny. But that is our top 5 for Steve and I, our top 5 worst attractions, or our 5 worst attractions at Walt Disney World. Tell us what you think. Head out to our Facebook page, facebook.com/DisUnplugged, and let us know whether you agree with us, if we've missed something on our list that's on yours, or if you more likely agree with us. Thanks.